Okay, this is a quick video on, the question was asked to me, can you talk about signals and signs of a reversal of a stock after the morning, initial morning sell-off, and when we're supposed to enter into the stock? So that's a very good question. And we find quite often the stocks that are strong in the, overnight or in the morning, they'll sell off quite sharply at the opening, and then they'll come back up. In this case, tested resistance, and then came back, and then away it went. On this case, the APVO. So we'll look at there's several signals that you can look at. One, we don't know that this is going to turn around here. This is resistance at this level here. You have to be watching this pretty close. Sold off sharply, got into a rising wedge pattern. And then when it broke out through this lateral resistance and at the apex of this wedge, it did pop. But you wouldn't really be looking to trade this stock until it got over the 1535 or so on that pop. But away it goes, and then we see this pullback, second pullback. Now here's a signal here where you have this actually is not such a good one. We see this big sell-off here. This is a candle of indecision. A doji doesn't know which way to go, and that's your turnaround. A couple of more dojis, and then starts to get into this uptrend. When it gets to the apex, that's where you're looking in that case to trade that stock. The JKS, it just spiked at the opening. There was a pullback entry. Here's your first pullback entry up. The first candle to make a new high. First green candle to make a new high. So you get the move up. You have a red candle. Here's your first candle. The next candle is green and trades above the 63.60. There's your entry level. First candle to make a new high. Sure enough, off it takes and away it goes. But the other thing that you can see here for reversal is when it did pull back. Let me see if I can get this bigger. You can see here, this is a typical pattern. I'm doing more than just the here, at the opening. Look at these reversal candles here, where you get this hammer, where you get the stock has a wick or a shadow below it and closes pretty much unchanged. Next candle's green. That's usually a reversal sign. Here's a reversal sign. Here's one. Here's one here. These are all reversals. Those are the main ones I see. But by the same token, here's the sell, where you get this pop up and it closes the bottom. Next candle's red. You need to get out of that trade. In this case, you were lucky enough for it to come back up and test it again, giving you an opportunity to get out, and then it's sold off. So there's a couple of more. Let me just see what else, some other charts that I might. On the Tilray, never really even gave you any. I mean, not every pop's going to have a signal. This one sold off, kind of found a bottom. You wouldn't be able to trade that because you don't know if it's going to continue or not. You really need to wait for it to break out, which it did over the 7. Traded to 750, came back, found, it failed really at support here, down and back, held the trend line though, and then got into the trend. So that was a good trade after the fact. KXIN never gave us a reversal pattern. Strong in the pre-market, double topped. At the opening, it sells off. And there's nothing in this chart that says you should be buying the stock. It just continued to come off sharply. Here's your patterns that show to sell. There is no real capitulation at the bottom of any of these. Nothing in that chart would say there's a reversal, and sure enough, it just continued to drift off. This Qualicum, this is a higher price stock. Very strong in the after hours on earnings, but at the opening it just got hammered. Boom, sold off But here you can see, here's the reversal where you get this. In this case, the bulls were managed to take control, sold off very sharply, and would have opened here at the close, sold off, but then the bulls took control, and look where it closed, way at the top. And then we get this wedging pattern, or slight wedging pattern. And when it broke out over this here, so this in itself doesn't say to buy. This just says get ready to buy. Here, then it popped, so we got, in effect, a V bottom right-hand extension. And then when the Qualicum popped over the 144, there was your signal to go long. Pop, pulled back, held support. You could have entered it there, and off it went. But look at, there's that pattern. The long wick at the top, the gravestone pattern with the close near the bottom. Next candle's red. Look what happens, sells off sharply. So there you go. So there's a bunch of patterns to look at for reversals.